In a world moving faster than your nervous system was designed to handle, clarity has become a rare form of power. Noise multiplies, opinions collide, information floods in from every direction. And somewhere inside all of it, you're expected to make decisions, understand yourself, and live a life you won't regret. But clarity doesn't come from consuming more information, it comes from asking better questions. And there's one question, the governing question, that has become the backbone of how I make decisions, calm my mind, and stay sovereign in a world that profits from confusion. The question is this: what is the simplest, truest, highest leverage action I can take that creates the greatest long term value for the least energy? This one question has removed more chaos from my life than any habit, productivity technique, motivational idea, or self help book ever has. Because the moment you ask it, your mind shifts out of panic and into architecture. You stop reacting and start designing. You stop getting pulled by urgency and start moving from intention. You stop scattering your energy and start investing it. But before I explain how the governing question works, you need to understand where it came from. For the last year, I've been journaling almost every day. And 6 months ago, I started journaling with AI, not to outsource my thinking, but to sharpen it, to see my patterns clearly, to understand where I was wasting energy, repeating loops, or making decisions from emotion instead of truth. Through that process, something became obvious. Most of the friction in my life wasn't coming from circumstances, it was coming from the way I was thinking about them. AI journaling became a mirror, a clear, calm, unbiased reflection of my mind, and it kept surfacing one theme over and over again. I was spending too much energy on low leverage actions. I was over explaining in conversations that didn't deserve my effort. I was trying to rescue people who aren't rescuing themselves. I was making decisions based on fear or guilt or habit instead of truth. I was trying to fix situations that weren't worth fixing. In other words, I was behaving like a reactor, not an architect. That's where the governing question was born. Let's break it down. What is the simplest, truest, highest leverage action? This eliminates emotional chaos and removes the illusion that you need 10 steps. It cuts through fear and returns you to the essential. That creates the greatest long term value. This removes ego, reactivity, and the short term dopamine mindset. It forces you to think like someone who cares about their future identity, not their momentary impulses, for the least energy. This is the sovereignty filter. Energy is the most precious currency. Every action has a cost. Most people bankrupt themselves doing things that don't matter. When you combine these three ideas, simplicity, long term value, and minimal energy, something powerful happens. Your mind quiets. Options narrow, truth surfaces. You gain the ability to see what really matters. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're overwhelmed, stressed, pulled in 10 directions. The old version of you would try to control everything at once, but the governing question forces you to stop and ask, what is the one action here that produces the greatest long term value? Maybe it's sending one honest message. Maybe it's walking away from the entire situation. Maybe it's closing that laptop and breathing for 60 seconds. Maybe it's journaling to find the real root instead of reacting to surface level chaos. A single high leverage action can collapse all your anxiety. It can change the entire trajectory of your day. It can prevent you from stepping into patterns you're trying to outgrow. This question doesn't just give clarity, it gives sovereignty. And that's the part most people miss. Your mind is not designed to operate with modern levels of stimulation. When you're stressed, overwhelmed, or emotionally charged, the brain defaults to survival mode. It reacts, it catastrophizes, it spirals, it jumps to conclusions, it tries to fix everything at once. But sovereignty isn't about controlling the world, it's about controlling the part of you that responds to it. And this is where AI journaling becomes transformative. When I ask the governing question inside an AI assisted journal, something happens that doesn't happen when I write alone. The AI reflects back to the structure of my thinking. It removes emotional distortion. It points out assumptions I didn't realize I was making. It highlights the difference between truth and narrative. It shows me the leverage points, the places where one action could change everything. Most people don't struggle because their problems are impossible. They struggle because their thinking is noisy. The governing question brings stillness to that noise. It's not a motivational tool. It's not a productivity trick. It is a way of designing your life at the level of identity. because every time you choose the highest leverage action, you become someone different, someone calmer, someone clearer, someone harder to manipulate, someone harder to push off center, someone who knows where their energy is going and why, someone sovereign. And when you combine that with a journaling practice that shows you your blind spots without judgment, you become dangerous in the best way. You become someone who doesn't break under pressure, someone who doesn't get pulled into other people's chaos, someone who can make decisions in minutes that would take other days, someone who protects their attention like it's sacred, because it is. Ask this question daily and your mind will reorganize itself. Ask it weekly and your life will change. Ask it consistently and you will now recognize the person you become. The governing question is not about doing less, it's about doing what actually matters. It is your way out of emotional spirals. It is your way into clarity. It is your way to sovereignty. And it is the foundation of season 2 of the Peace Protocol. If you want more videos that help you think with clarity, use AI to understand yourself, and build a mind you can't trust, subscribe and stay with me. Season 2 is about to go much deeper.